What's up, everyone? As I was preparing for meditations, I just spent a few minutes sitting here and watching my thoughts just run wild. Not getting attached to a single one, but just observing all of them as they come in and out. I'm not sure how much time passed, but it was enough to notice that I was still, which is a good thing. I began to relax, and even if my mind was still moving, I just let the thoughts in and out. We can't help what happens to us, and this would be what's going on in the world, in our lives, families, friends, all these things that happen to us directly affect our state of mind. And so with meditation, there's an aspect of resolving, you could say conflict, but really just resolving all the waves that are getting pushed around in our mind. There's a really great analogy about, think of a sea or an ocean that's upset. It's very wavy and turbulent. And you don't calm the ocean by forcing it, by pressing it. The only way you can let it be tranquil again is to leave it alone. There's a way of kind of a natural resonance of just letting it be, just observing it. And that's the idea with any storm passing. It comes and it goes, and when it is finally calm and clear, the only process to get there was to leave it alone. Let's begin by taking a very deep breath in. And release the breath. Take a deep breath in for 3 ohms. We'll start with a reading. And so I'll flip to a random page from Pema. Chaturanga. Obstacles can become our teachers. On the night on which he was to attain enlightenment, the Buddha sat under a tree. While he was sitting there, he was attacked by the forces of Mara, the Lord of Destruction. The story goes that they shot swords and arrows at him, and that their weapons turned into flowers. What does this story mean? My understanding of it is that what we habitually regard as obstacles are not really our enemies, but rather our friends. What we call obstacles are really the way the world and our entire experience teaches us where we're stuck. What may appear to be an arrow or a sword, we can actually experience as a flower. Whether we experience what happens to us as an obstacle and enemy, or as teacher and friend, depends entirely on our perception of reality. It depends on our relationship with ourselves. I have a chalkboard in my room, and the other day, just yesterday, I wrote, "Pain is an opportunity." When we think of how complex and strange this maze of life is, all the obstacles we do encounter are trying to help us along to somewhere. But you see, the individual has free will. We have choice. And by the bounds of our society, the way in which we were educated, we can choose to settle for comfort. It's all our choice. But when we decide to settle for comfort, we inhibit our own growth. What is the purpose of life after all? Why would we experience pain and misfortune? I always come back to it's just lessons. And the longer we push off these lessons, the longer we avoid the obstacles, the more caught up in our own story we get. We can get so caught up that we create this illusion of gossip, and we're stringing ourselves along to believe something that has already passed. And yet a simple obstacle or a lesson that could have been our friend or guidance or teacher has now created so many waves and problems because we continue to bring it back to the surface. We let it interrupt the present moment again and again. Obstacles are not easy. But neither is anything fulfilling in this life. Look at a flower. It must first battle the dirt. Just how momentum needs friction. We have to use what hurts. Pain and obstacles can promote great change. Think of a relationship that ended unfavorably. Relationships in general can often destroy us. And yet those moments of destruction lead us to recreation. They wake us up from illusions of love when we get attached to someone's outside. their words over their actions. And only after we've been destroyed can we snap out of it and say, oh, we weren't with them for real. We may have wanted it to work. We may have hoped that they were the one. But only after we've been destroyed do we realize that it wasn't meant to be. That we are worthy of so much more. Yes, all the bad, negative things maybe aren't so. Maybe they're not against us after all. Maybe it's that unsettling truth that's trying to help us. We don't learn much when it comes easy. We actually learn very little when it's handed over to us. And we don't have to work for it. But if we struggle and we understand the obstacle, then we grow. And the next time a scenario like it appears, we're better able to navigate it. I wanted to read one more from Pema. Here's the next page. And the title stuck out so much that I had to know. Perfection is like death. We think that if we just meditated enough, or jogged, or ate perfect food, everything would be perfect. But from the point of view of someone who is awake, that's death. Seeking security or perfection, rejoicing in feeling confirmed and whole, self-contained and comfortable is some kind of death. It doesn't have any fresh air. There's no room for something to come in and interrupt all that. We are killing the moment by controlling our experience. Doing this is setting ourselves up for failure, because sooner or later, we're going to have an experience we can't control. Our house is going to burn down. Someone we love is going to die. We're going to find out we have cancer. Or somebody's going to spill tomato juice all over our white suit. The essence of life is that it's challenging. Sometimes it is sweet, and sometimes it is bitter. Sometimes your body tenses, and sometimes it relaxes or opens. Sometimes you have a headache, and sometimes you feel 100% healthy. From an awakened perspective, trying to tie up all those loose ends and finally get it together is death, because it involves rejecting a lot of your basic experience. There's something aggressive about that approach to life, trying to flatten out all the rough spots and imperfections into a nice, smooth ride. To be fully alive, fully human, and completely awake is to be continually thrown out of the nest. To live fully is to be always in no man's land. To experience each moment is completely new and fresh. I hope you have a wonderful day today. And I hope you face your obstacles with a different level of tenacity. Not that we need to be perfect or to solve them immediately, but to recognize that this is growth. That this growth is our life. Let's come together for one more Om. Take a deep breath in. light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.